Chris Demke in the right lane, Aaron Tatum in the left lane, as we are all set to go with quarterfinal action here in Top Alcohol Dragster.
One of the two fuel-injected cars still alive. Aaron Tatum sitting right there. We'll see Mark Niver in just a little bit. Chris Demke and Jerry Maddern's Peenwright car. 3 final rounds in their career. They're from California. 2 of the money rounds have come right here at this event at Heartland Park, Topeka.
Down goes another A fuel car. The heat and humidity way too much as the Peenwright car struts down the racetrack. 542, 265.
Right about where they qualified with that car. They ran 541 in the qualifying effort. That is just a very good, consistent car. We talk about all the supercharged cars in the country that are running very well. You'll see Jim Whiteley in just a little bit, who's got one of the best. But that car just goes down the racetrack time after time. They do not beat themselves, and he made a good, solid run right there to go to the semis.
Chris Demke's with Gary.
Chris has been standing here. He knows that he's now going to face Sean Cowie. I don't think that was a surprise, was it?
No, I fully expected Sean Cowie would be the next competitor in the next round. He's a strong car, and he's doing a great job. But so is this Peenwright dragster. It's hauling Buddy. You can hear my crew over there. They're thrilled. It's been a long time since we've made it to TV time. So I'd just like to thank my sponsors, Peenwright and Bill Swanson, Mike Garcia, and the guys over there, LA X-Ray, BG Detection, and Abrasive Finishing Company. Without them, we wouldn't be here today racing.
He made it to TV time, and he didn't forget how to handle the interviews and the sponsors. How about that?
Nicely done, Chris Demke.
This will be an interesting matchup here. We saw that oil from Sean Cowie's car earlier when they got down to the end of the track after that last run, and they took and looked at the bottom of the engine. The diaper there was full of oil down there. They actually had an oil leak, and I'm not still 100% sure if that had to do with the problem we saw on the starting line, because if that diaper hadn't been there in that containment, they would have been shut off. He then went on and made a pretty good run, but they said there was no mechanical difficulties there, but they were this close to not being able to make that run.
Got to give a lot of credit to Mark Niver, though. Just like we were saying earlier, you just got to get down the racetrack and let somebody else or the other team or something happen on the other side. Just give yourself a chance.
Well, he's run divisional races. He won his first divisional race over 30 years ago. He's been to a couple of finals for the Nationals. This got to be his best day, and the team talked him into it. Like I said, after the Vegas race, he said, we just stunk up the joint. He said, let's go to the next race. Now, this will be very interesting. Sean Cowie against Chris Demke. Bill Moore, the crew chief on this race car, while they are here between rounds, he goes back and he calls Bucky Austin, who's been involved with his team since they first started out with it. Gives him some consultation over the phone and everything. So that's a very solid race car. But of course, we saw what Jim Whiteley just had, the problems he had. He was the #2 qualifier. So, and Chris Demke's team, as we mentioned earlier, just gets down the racetrack, keeps you honest, makes you outrun it, because very rarely does Chris Demke, Jerry Maddern, and his Peenwright team beat themselves, especially here at this track.
Our final semifinal, all our final rounds will be set. It's Cowie and Demke take the stage lights. Oh, how about this one? We got an upset. Chris Demke takes out the #1 qualifier. That was close at the stripe, and he does it on a hole shot as 537 beats a 536, but that was a 536 going about 1,400 feet. He was all over the place.
That was a marvelous run for Chris Demke. Did exactly what I said. They're going to keep you honest. How about this? The team from California rolls out here. Been to 4 finals. 3 of them have come here at Heartland Park, Topeka. Off the starting line, big-time move right there. There's that little drift off the starting line. That move right there at the end, way over near the center line for Sean Cowie. When you're running basically dead even elapsed time, that move there, you're not covering 1,320 feet in the shortest possible distance. And look at this, by just a nose job, Chris Demke gets the win. And an excellent run right there for that team, and a marvelous pass to get that thing down in the 530.
Are you saying that you don't normally twist off the cap in a vintage red wine?
No.
Hey, we all learned something new on this television show. Top Alcohol Dragster Finals. That's Mark Niver over in the left lane completing his burnout. Chris Demke over on the right, and we're having a little bit too much fun right now.
That's that red wine going to our heads. This is going to be a very intriguing matchup. I mean, Chris Demke getting a chance to run right here, and he's got Darren Nicholson working on the crew. Darren actually used to drive this race car for Jerry Maddern, and Big Mike Demke helping out. Kevin Watson have done a great job, and like we said earlier, for Mark Niver, what a story this would be if he could close the deal here. He's had a pretty good race car, beat 2 pretty good blown cars, and Tom Baer and Jim Whiteley in those last 2 rounds, running very well in a performance edge. Guy that's been doing this for the better part of 30 years, looking to close the deal after, as he said, stinking up the joint out in Las Vegas. Crew said, come on out here. And on a weekend when the injected cars should have been, dropping like my stock market portfolio, here he is in the final round.
Meanwhile, Demke, lucky to be in this position, had some problems with a drop valve that they were able to barely fix in time. Said he was putting on his helmet as the pair in front of him was going into the semifinals. That where he took the win over Sean Cowie, the #1 qualifier, but said no changes this time around. The car was clean on down the racetrack, so all they're going to try to do is go out there and go 5:37 again and try to make the A Fuel car step up by a 10th. First time winner in a national event competition. Who will it be, Niver or Demke? How about the A Fuel car? Mark Niver doing what nobody thought could be done here in Topeka today. Goes 5:49 and wins it on a big hole shot.
Back on the starting line for Corey, for Jessica, for everybody in the Niver family. Boy, Sam back at home and Alexis, who graduated kindergarten. How about this for his wife? They have just done a marvelous job. And a guy that said to me in the pit area yesterday, said, I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this. And he took his hat off and showed us all that gray hair. He was marvelous off the starting line, coupled with a sluggish move out of the gate for Chris Demke. But that is just a great win. One of the true gentlemen in the sport. Saw a devastating crash at 2003 in Sonoma. Put this car back, built it himself, comes back and gets the win right here. 1,151 miles from home. Great job, Mark Niver.